Hi, this video is about ego. I think it's a very, very important video, but I think that all my recent ones are. So kill the ego, something we must do. Something I have to do. I think I've done it. Politics, I've been obsessing about this for ages. Oh, yeah. It's so like big issue, I think, because the world is overwhelmed and swimming in an ocean of ego. And ego's identifications, your identifications, not just your identification that's a positive identification, but also your projections. When we project out, we show ourselves what's in us. You know what I mean? That's part of our ego. So when we project out, we act like, oh, it's the other. But we talk about the other when we talk about it. But we're showing what is in us. What you say about the other as the enemy might be true of them, or it might not. But what is for certain is the projection shows what's in you, or what's in me. If I'm projecting, that is the certain part of it. And you see that all the time. We see it with other people, but our focus always has to be on ourselves. You know what I mean? And we can't help but see other people's projections, but we have to focus on ourselves. And that is the key. That is really the key. So like, if from now on, I think like if someone is projecting out, we should see that as a confession in themselves. That's them saying, this is my shadow. Because that's what they are doing. We all know that. I mean, from something that you hear, you text one to no one, you hear that said, right? All the way up to Jung and Freud going on about projection, we can see that this is true. You know what I mean? So we have it in the common sense, it takes one to know one, and we have it in the Jung Freud psychology that projection is what is in you, projected on whenever. This is so important. This is so important. We don't want to live in a world where ego is what is dominant. We want to live in a world where ego is not dominant, where ego is something we see. Now, some people go out with ego at 18-ish, or never seem to have had it, ever. And other people still have it at 106 if they're lucky enough to live that long, although not so lucky that they've lived with ego for that long. And well, I'm in the middle of the two, so to speak. But that is bad. I mean, that can be interpreted as bad because the person who's never had it could say, "Oh, so you were in that propaganda matrix you're going about." I mean, it's just like I just think that okay, you have to accept. And I have to say, yeah, and credit to them for not being. So there's a spectrum here of ego. People have never had it, people who grow out of it quick, people who take the bloody time, people who never grow out of it. What can I say? We all have to say that, but what, like I said, what I can say is that we have to see, rather than seeing those who project as just like some kind of WNKRS, we have to look at them as confessing, so that we're all confessors. So there's no one in negative, nasty, evil, shadow ego, because those that we used to say that are projecting are now said to be confessing. So that when they do that, there's no gain for the projection. What we see is them. What we see is them confessing that this is in themselves. It has nothing to do with the other. It's irrelevant whether the other is like that or not. This is their confession. So some of us don't show that kind of dish it out kind of attitude because we've seen through it. But those who haven't seen through it are still confessing in an unconscious way. They're unaware that they're confessing, but they are. So rather than us react to it like, oh no, there's still people who do that kind of crap, we need to say they are confessing. They're not using the words I am this, but they're confessing that it's the confessing that's inside them. It's like when someone hates, right? And someone says, you need to give that up and forgive them. And so, why should I do that? And you say, because how does that feel for you, feeling hate? That's the hate in you. And the more they stick with that hate, the more true it becomes that they are a hating, they do have a hateful psychology that they are. It comes to a point where it consumes them and it becomes everything about them. So I'm not saying everyone goes that far, obviously not, but it's the same principle. So we need to, in order to overcome the ego world, what we do is we say that we are all confessing. We are all confessing. And so I'm confessing that I've been there and I'm out of it. Other people will confess it by showing it in their projections. And this becomes our healing. Because if you're confessing by projecting against Team B when you're Team A, you're showing that this is what Team A is and that it needs to heal. It needs to heal. You're only showing your own side. You're not showing anything about the other side. It's for the other side to sort their side out. It's your side sorting your side out. And I think that many of us, when we look at like politics, when we see one side projected against another, it's the side that projects that gets looked at as the confessor that is projecting. We do look at it like that. We do say, "Oh, look what they're like. That's pretty horrible." You know what I mean? So we need to say, rather than being horrible, we need to say they are healing. They're getting it out their system and they are healing. And they're going to cease being like that because of this healing process they're going through. And I think this can happen. I mean, I've got some notes here. It's our own responsibility to destroy our own ego and our own side. Only then will conflict be defeated. The goal of destroying conflict by engaging in it has failed thousands of years. We've done that gig, it doesn't work. So, that gig, not just the last few years, last 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 years, human history, each of us needs to look at what we oppose, see that in ourselves. This is the human. Caitlin Johnston, right? Just wrote a paper. Sorry, Tom, she didn't write a paper. She tweeted out, so it's not much, but she tweeted out that her side is it's all a mess because she's on the far left, anti-imperialist sort of side. She's sort of like political, but I can see that she understands everything I've bloody gone about, so I like her. Now she's saying the reason why her side is in a terrible mess is because human ego is human. It's a condition of all of humanity. So she says her side is no better than her enemies, no better than the ones she side to oppose. It's exactly the same. She's not tweaking it so it's her side's better or anything like that. She's not trying to wiggle out of what she's saying. She's saying her side is pathetic. Not in an emotion. She's saying that therefore we have to work on ourselves. She's not interested in going out to her enemies and saying, "Look, I'm going to be a doctor, nurse for you and heal you." They wouldn't like it anyway, would they? She's saying that our side has to heal our own, and that's what I say, and totally independently of her, several months at least. Now, so this is the point. Be gone with ego. Attacking the other side now makes you sure that you're trying to heal yourself. That is what you're trying to do. You're trying to heal yourself. You're not trying to hurt yourself. You're trying to heal yourself. You're trying to get rid of the poison in you by getting it out there and talking to someone else. It's not me. It's not me. It isn't you. It doesn't have to be you. Let's make it like that, though. Let's say our side's the worst. My side's the worst. Definitely. My side is the worst. My side's totally scum. We're forever, ever projecting all the time, projecting. This is ours. This is us. Once we get rid of all this projection crap, once we get rid of all this ego crap, we're all one humanity. Us, give Trump a hug. Give anyone a hug. Give any enemy of yours, anyone you can name, give them a hug. This is not any longer them versus us. Our own side's the worst. We support the other side. Our own side's the worst. Let's not hug our own side. Let's hug the other side. Let's tell our own side and give them the finger. End of video.